Alright, everyone has a smartphone, everybody plays games on that said smartphone, but is it just Android games? Well, yes, but not completely. Some of us want to emulate games, some of us want to stream games from our computer, and that kind of justifies wanting something like a mobile controller because, we live in a time where we have lots of nice handhelds that are Android based. I'm a 1X Sugar right here. And some people who are still PC heavy gamers would go straight to something on the likes of the ROG Xbox LIX. But to some people, they don't want to invest, another 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 ringgit just to play games when they already have their most important asset, which is their smartphone. Some of them have already bought flagships and have the best specs. Buying a mobile controller makes perfect sense here. There is a wide range of brands and a wide range of prices when it comes to buying such a seemingly simple additional accessory for your smartphone. Enter the Razer Kishi V3 Pro, which is probably going to be the most expensive yet also one of the best mobile controllers you can get in the market today. And it's not just the best because of the price, but because the amount of thought put into this product with a little bit of quirks here and there to supplement the whole package. Accompanying me on this journey is my ever reliable Red Magic 10S Pro. It's a great phone to have, and if you're actually in the market for buying a smartphone that doubles as a great gaming machine that's just very reliable for emulation and playing all sorts of Android AAA titles, this is the phone I recommend. Because why? Built-in fan, great square body, and very good performance, and a fully bezel-less screen, even though the selfie camera is trash, but it doesn't matter. You just want to play games. And as you can see, if I already fit this bad boy onto the Razer Kishi V3 Pro, it fits iPhones and it also fits up to an 8-inch tablet, which is very big. And if you wanted to go above that, there is a Razer Kishi XL, which costs just a little bit more, but it can fit up to a 13-inch tablet, I believe. But that kind of looks a bit silly if you ask me. Inside the package already comes with silicone cushions that you can just slot in between the gap where you normally place your device to have a better fit of whichever desired device you want to connect this controller to. And of course, the more important parts about knowing about what makes a good controller are, of course, the thumbsticks, the triggers, and the buttons, how it feels, how's the layout. The layout, as you can see, is very Xbox, which is very second nature to me and by extension to a lot of gamers out there, because that's just what we have been ergonomically trained to be familiar with. So this is nice. It's asymmetrical. I prefer this over the symmetrical type, such as like the PlayStation controller. And the thumbsticks, these are using TMR thumbsticks, which are the best of the best thumbstick tech you can get in the market right now. Tunnel magneto resistance thumbsticks. So what are they all about? They're just pretty much a step above Hall effect. They consume a lot less power. They're a lot less prone to interference, and they offer a lot more precision and just require much smaller magnets, which is perfect if you're just trying to keep something in a small form factor. It's magnetic. It's not really contacting into anything, so any form of worry about stick drift is basically going to be non-existent. You can also pluck out the thumbsticks and replace it with the other two included ones in the package. You get a nice circular dome one, a bit like a mushroom, and a taller version of the already pre-installed analog stick. All you need to do is just pull it out and plug it in, follow the directional arrows already showing on the replacement thumbsticks, and you're good to go. So this offers a lot of flexibility and some level of customization. And speaking of customization, the triggers feel great just as much, and also there are claw style buttons on top, and all the buttons here are very mecha-tactile style, which is very nice and very responsive. At the back we have M1 and M2, which are also mouse click style feel, and it feels great. Razer is definitely not playing. They're really giving you the best of the best feel here with the best precision and the longest lasting durability thanks to, the available tech. It also has a USB Type-C port for your pass-through charging, as well as a 3.5mm audio jack right at the bottom, so that you can play this somewhere quietly in the train or on a plane, however you like. The build is primarily plastic as expected. There are no RGB elements on the controller. I know a lot of people might be complaining about that, but I'm honestly all for it because this doesn't have an independent battery built in. It's directly drawing power from your device via the USB-C port, so there is no means to wirelessly connect this controller to your phone or to your computer. Although you can plug this in directly to your computer and use it as a controller without your smartphone. So yeah, it works that way. I mean, if you don't want to buy an extra controller for your PC, you just want to buy one controller for your phone and for your PC, yeah, you can connect this via wired without needing to plug in your smartphone. You still get a TMR thumbstick controller for just one price. So speaking of price, 800 over ringgit. This costs over 800 ringgit, which is already at the highest end spectrum of what people would normally pay for controllers, which I expect to be like 200 to 300 ringgit being generous, and maybe 150 ringgit and below for being budget friendly. So this is really at the highest top end shelf, and the experience simply has to justify that price. The real fun begins, after you set this up like this, is installing the Razer Nexus app along with Remote Play. So the Razer Nexus app is kind of like a nice companion app that you can use to show all your games, update the firmware of your controller, and customize your back buttons and claw grip buttons. But apart from that, it also acts as a kind of front end. Is a not very active front end, so I call it more like a passive front end because you can't set it as a launcher. It's just an app. You can see all your installed games, and you can even remote play from your PC. So yes, that means I can use the Razer Nexus app to stream games that I will play on my desktop onto my smartphone using the Razer Kishi V3 Pro as the controller to control my whole gaming experience. It's a completely free app and a completely free experience. You don't have to pay any subscription fees. It's not like Backbone. You just have to sign in. You just need to have a Razer ID, which is free anyway. Install it onto your phone, sign in, and the same thing on your computer. Install Razer Cortex with Remote Play and set it up as a host and let them two handshake and you're good to go. The settings are very comprehensive. You can even set just how much bitrate from the video streaming that you want. So I always set it to highest. I'm using a 1 gigabyte per second internet plan in Malaysia, which is one of the fastest right now. And you can even choose what kind of codec you want when it comes to the encoding. So you can see whichever fits best for you. I set it to auto because I want to emulate how people use it from an open box perspective. It's very, very nice and smooth. Sometimes there are hiccups here and there because, home internet, you're not the only one using it, especially if you live with a family. And Remote Play is that great. It will even show the games that are installed on your computer, and you can have multiple tabs, from your Android games to your PC games and even to your Xbox Cloud gaming network, which is so good. And I really love this app because it's free. Who doesn't like free game streaming? That's nice. Overall, as a controller, I really like how it feels. I like how it's laid out, and pretty much it's a very purpose-built piece of accessory that goes along with items that you already have, which is a smartphone. So whether you're on iOS or on Android, the app is there for you to stream your games and also put a nice little passive front end there for you. The buttons, like I said, just feel great and high end. These are really top shelf buttons and thumbsticks right here. And to justify the price, yeah, like I already said, it's 800 over ringgit. You want to use this on your high-end smartphone, go on ahead. You want to emulate games and use this as a controller to, experience your childhood once again. I'm already doing it. I'm like on DuckStation, Azahar, and whatever and whatnot. If you don't want to buy an additional controller for your PC, this will double down and give you a great controller experience, even though it looks kind of weird. And because you don't have a smartphone mounted on when you're plugging this into your PC, it feels rather light. And on that matter, I have to comment about the durability. I personally am okay that that the entire controller is plastic, because that's what everyone is doing. I just wish that because I'm paying so much for it already, I wish it came with a travel case, because it's this type of mattish kind of plastic, and I feel like it's extremely prone to scratches. As you can see here, it's already been scratched because I simply chucked it into my backpack. After I found out about the scratches, I finally found a cloth pouch to just slot it in, but it would have been nice. It's not like Razer's never done pouches before for their products, okay? Razer, if you're hearing me, we're paying this much. Give us a little nice travel case to chuck this in and everything will be perfect. Of course, we can't forget about serious esports players. So PUBG, Free Fire, Call of Duty. Of course, you're gonna have all these games that people are going for tournaments for. Well, if you're one of those players, you don't have to worry. These thumbsticks are extremely precise, highly customizable in terms of pressure and dead zones, and of course your macro buttons, so that you can set it to whatever you like to give yourself that familiarity and advantage that you've always wanted. So from here, you're getting the best of the best. So this 800 ringgit controller transforms your smartphone into a gaming machine that will stream your PC games, play all your AAA titles that has controller support, and if it doesn't, you can also use the same app to customize virtual buttons and assign them to the hardware itself. And of course, emulation. So if you want to relive your childhood memories, there you go. Everybody's smartphone is able to emulate these games very, very easily. Even if you're not on Snapdragon 8 Elite, you're on what, a Snapdragon 865, Snapdragon 888, 8 Gen 1, those older chipsets. It's still an overkill level of hardware to run games from yesterdecade. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Zen the Geek, and this has been the Razer Kishi V3 Pro controller. Thanks for watching.